He is by far the most disgraceful figure in modern presidential history. He's only become more disgraceful since 2016 and since 2020. He is a bubbling cauldron of loathsome traits. You have to be in the throes of some sort of toxic delusion, in a toxic cult, to believe that Donald Trump has ever been, in any sense, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, or ethically fit to be president.
Brian.
I know Bob Costas. I know how bright he is. Best sport. By the time he was 34, he was the best sportscaster in the country, doing all the biggest events ever. I know that's exactly how he feels. But I think it's so shallow of him to think that you can have your feelings and put down 74 million people along the way.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Fox News host Brian Kilmeade threw a tantrum over Costas' scathing remarks about Trump supporters. Kilmeade's reaction bordered on explosive, drawing parallels to Hillary Clinton's infamous deplorables comment.
People who are supported, especially him coming from a place where people support their teams and their players and their boxers and their athletes, and people are loyal. There are people loyal to him for reasons they should be respected for and analyzed. Because
but
once
everybody
again,
should be respected.
Right.
Like, I
and
mean, Democrats want their voters to be respected. Can you imagine if a Republican candidate called them all deplorable?
Costas didn't hold back. In a separate interview, branding Trump as the most disgraceful figure in modern presidential history and his followers as part of a toxic cult. While Kilmeade may push back against Costas' accusations, the evidence suggests a pattern of behavior among some Trump supporters that proves them to be uneducated jackaloons. Kilmeade, a tabloid wannabe known for sensationalizing the most mundane stories for ratings, lacks the substance and credibility that Costas effortlessly embodies. It's like a cartoon character with a bad haircut trying to critique a legend in journalism, a scenario that's more laughable than credible. You know what's been popping up more than unexpected guests at a surprise party? This whole debate about whether cult members actually think of themselves as cult members.
What do you tell people who think the following of Trump and MAGA is kind of a cult?
No, it doesn't follow that at all. If you look at the definition of a cult, they take away your rights, they take away your choices, they control your finances. I don't think this is cult. I think that people are learning. We're digging deeper than we ever have before. We're asking hard questions that we weren't asking for the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Tell me about if Donald Trump does not win, what do you do?
I hope that I'm going to die.
You want to die if Donald Trump doesn't win?
I do. I don't want to live like this anymore.
It's not a cult. We want answers.
It's like asking a cat if it knows it's a cat, or if it thinks it's really just a fancy squirrel with a personal groomer. Either way, it's comedy gold in the world of psychology.
What do you say to people who say that this is a cult?
I think the deep state's a cult.
What can you define what the deep state is?
Yeah, people who, the original 13 families, it starts from there.
Can you tell me who you mean in the back in the colonies?
Oh, no, don't try. No,
I meant the 13, because the 13 colonies.
The original 13 families, the Rothschilds, the Astors, all the big money, okay? We know that that's where it all comes from.
He actually got people off their butts, going back to work, being proud to be an American. Put our flags back out and be proud. And he hung onto that flag like he really loves America.
And Michael Schur and David Schuster of TYT have interviewed some real winners outside Trump rallies. I mean, these people are wearing Trump merchandise from head to toe, made in China, mind you, while whining about the economy.
Tell me one thing that he did to make your life better when he was president.
Gas prices, for one. Economy is much better.
Do you feel the improving economy? Because all the metrics we talk about for the economy, all the economists are saying the economy is on the rebound, historic lows in unemployment right now. Does that impact you?
As a matter of fact, I don't believe any of that. That's not what I witnessed, so I don't believe it.
And did you believe, I guess pre-pandemic, because that's kind of a blip, but pre-pandemic when President Trump was in office, did you believe the metrics then?
Not from the mainstream media, but anything that he said generally in his administration, I believed.
So if it was coming from him, it was gospel. Because there are a lot of people that say, well, that's turning a blind eye to things if you're only trusting the person who's saying it. Almost it's cult-like. Does this feel cult-like at all to you?
No, not at all. In fact, what's cult-like to me is watching the mainstream media and listening to the existing administration.
It seems like Michael Schur's investigation into cult behavior uncovered a concerning trend of denial and diversion amongst cult members, particularly regarding their loyalty to Donald Trump. Despite potential parallels to cult behavior, these individuals appear unwilling to acknowledge such comparisons, highlighting potential issues with critical thinking skills and rationality. In the world of politics, Bob Costas' blunt comments about Trump and his supporters make us pause and think. He points out the troubling behavior amongst some Trump's followers and reminds us of the risks of blindly following leaders. Costas urges us to think critically and hold leaders accountable for their actions. As we move forward, let's remember Costas' message. Let's avoid blindly following leaders and instead think for ourselves. By demanding integrity and honesty from our leaders, we can protect the values of democracy and create a better future for everyone. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.